Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Screen Stoop podcast. I'd like to give a special shout out to my little brother who is now listening to my show. It finally feels like springtime here in the Pacific Northwest, and with spring here and then summer, I wanted to review some of the upcoming attractions and trailers that we saw at the theater this past weekend. 3 huge trailers that I'm very excited for that we saw in the theater on Saturday are Transformers, the Flash movie, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy when it first came out. I saw it with my little brother, and then you know how movies stay in a theater, especially a Disney or a Marvel movie, for quite a long time? I dated 3 different guys during the time that Guardians of the Galaxy was playing in the theater, and I made them take me, all 3 guys, I made them take me to, I'm going to sound like a hoe, the Guardians of the Galaxy movie for the first date each time. Like, you know, you're kind of texting or whatever. What do you want to do? Oh, I'd love to go see that new movie. Is that embarrassing? I might cut that out. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is now here. Okay, I just looked it up. 2014, 2017, and now 2023. That's a huge time jump. And it has to be a huge time jump now in universe as well. I mean, Gamora was dead and now she's back to life, and Nebula's a part of the team, and we're in a totally different spot because of the Avengers movies than we were when we ended in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And the Guardians of the Galaxy portions of Infinity War, I think, besides the Tony Stark, Doctor Strange stuff, was the best part. We're going to get a Rocket backstory. I'm really excited for that. He was my favorite character in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I know Groot was kind of like the Disney baby Yoda of the time, but for me, Rocket was so good. I thought Bradley Cooper killed it in that role, and I quoted Rocket the Raccoon all the time. I wanted a little Rocket the Raccoon, like, stuffed animal. When Guardians of the Galaxy 1 came out, it was so fun. It was like a totally different idea and feel from the rest of the Marvel universe. There was bright colors and music, and you had space. We were now in space. Like, we didn't ever have any good guys flying around in space until the Guardians. So it looks like Rocket is going to have a really great backstory. Hopefully his character is fleshed out and we get some sort of character growth and change from him. He really changed actually a lot in the first movie. That might be why he was my favorite character, because he was so selfish and grouchy and everything. And then he learned to care about these people, and he wanted to have a family. And I like that. He was tortured, and now we kind of are going to get to see the torture. It was always hinted at. I'm a little nervous because sometimes when you try to flesh something like that out, it doesn't work as well as it might have if it was just left to your own imagination. So a little worried about that, but I hope that they do it right. It looks like Nebula is going to have probably the most full character arc of anybody. Star-Lord seems to be either the same or regressed. And I actually felt like Star-Lord regressed between Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. He felt more like bumbling idiot. They were making fun of him because he was fat or whatever. That was really unattractive to me. I thought that he was the captain of the ship. Why are you playing him out for jokes? You have enough people here to play out for jokes. When you first meet Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, he is definitely like quirky, but he's not stupid. He is competently walking through this crazy different environment. He's using all of his gadgets, and he gets this orb, and he uses kind of a joke to get out of the situation that he's currently in. But it reminded me more of like Johnny Depp, where not Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow, who was played by Johnny Depp. And you know that he is in control, and he's actually thought stuff through, but he gives off the appearance of ignorance or the appearance of naivety. And that's what made him really compelling, because everyone around him underestimated him. And he almost wanted that, because then it helped him to be underestimated so that he could get away and whatever. Maybe I'm in the minority, but I really felt like Star-Lord was a different character from 1 to 2. He also even looked different. I don't know if that was the actor's choice. I doubt it, because Chris Pratt did so much work to look good for Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and he cut all that weight, and he had that one shower scene, and he looks all hot, and he got his abs. He's probably flexing really hard, and he probably did a ton of sit-ups and push-ups before that scene. And then he also looked really, really great for Jurassic Park. And so I don't think that it was Chris Pratt's choice to be fat and then to be played for jokes, but maybe it was, because he did a really great job as Andy, and he was the star of Parks and Rec that way. But I don't know. It felt a little bit like crapping on your main character, which then was a trend. The first Guardians of the Galaxy to me felt like Star Wars, but in the MCU. You had a conglomeration, a team of people, really diverse. Some are funny, some are angry. You've got everyone has a specific role, and I loved that. And Star-Lord was obviously the leader. And then he almost like was kind of just standing around in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And then I think more of the fat thing came in Infinity War. And it just felt like such a disservice to this character who I had really high hopes for and who in the first movie you made me really like. Star-Lord felt, and this is why I love the movie so much, it felt like Jack Sparrow and Han Solo, they were scoundrels, they were thieves, they were out for themselves, and then they get this crew and they care about the crew and they kind of grapple with the out for themselves and then also caring about the crew, and then they fall for a girl, which is more Han Solo obviously than Jack Sparrow, but that's why I love this character, and he was really compelling, and it was just such a letdown. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 let me down. I know it was supposed to be good, but it felt really, I don't know, lazy and not memorable. I think Jeremy Johns' rating for it, if I were giving it, I don't remember what his is, but I would be like T-, don't remember in 2 days. Does Nebula look weird to anyone else? Or maybe it was just like my theater screen, but she looked puffy and bulky. Not to diss on Karen Gillan, I think her name is. I mean, she is gorgeous. Have you seen her in Jumanji? Whew. And I think that she actually came out recently and said that she wanted to be Poison Ivy. And it's like, oh my gosh, yes, do that. If she has the acting chops for it, be sexy. Like that is what her body and face and everything was meant to do. She's got that beautiful red hair. She's got like a luscious type rounded face. Oh, perfect. There are a lot more animals in this trailer. We've got the dog from the Guardians of the Galaxy queue at Disneyland and the otter buddy friend of Rocket. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I think that Gamora is going to be a letdown, which is sad because I think her name's Zoe Saldana. She has so much more in her than they're allowing her character to be. I really thought that she had a lot of potential in the first movie, and then the second one, I think she was actually probably one of the highlights. But for me, the tone of Guardians was overdone and played too much for laughs. It almost was like the first movie. All of the laughs and fun was like a happy accident or just kind of natural. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it felt like they wanted to like, oh, we're getting you to laugh and we want to recreate the magic of the first one. And when you do that, you almost deviate and take away from the actual genuine stuff that makes that magic happen. And so Mantis and Drax, I don't care about. I think that they're just played for laughs. Baby Groot, teenage Groot, just played for laughs. Groot made me cry in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, where he sacrifices himself and he wraps up his friends so that they can be saved. I've talked about this for way too long. So Guardians of the Galaxy comes out May 5th. We're going to go see it on Friday. Excited to talk about it later. When someone uses the phrase fun popcorn flick, you know what comes into my head? Linkin Park. You know why? Trans-freaking-formers. Can we just go back to 2007? Linkin Park was ruling the music scene. Michael Bay was exploding stuff left and right. And Shia LaBeouf was at the height of his Hollywood career, not doing anything crazy whatsoever yet. Megan Fox was natural and hot as ever. I freaking love Transformers. What I've done. Autobots roll out. Bumblebee was endearing because he could only speak through emoting with his little gears on his face and through the radio system. Starscream and Megatron were just evil for the sake of being evil, and they wanted the Allspark. Oh my gosh, I love Transformers. Josh Duhamel was sexy as can be. You had the Kangaroo Jack guy and that other girl with the Nokia phone, and they had discovered this super secret thing, and then the crazy FBI or whatever service guy was there, and John Voight. I forgot about John Voight. The first Transformers movie was, is there a different word than magic? Epic, spectacular, lightning in a bottle. It didn't happen again for as long as the movies went on. And I know it won't happen again for this one, especially because this movie has already let me down in one big way. So when I first watched the trailer, I had no context whatsoever. I didn't know that it was set in the 90s. I didn't know who was playing it. I just saw a silver kind of Porsche-looking car. And so with one of the loves of my life, 2007's Transformers, being obviously at the forefront of my mind all hours of the day, I thought, jazz, that must be jazz. And it's not. I was very disappointed to realize that looking into it, it was not Jazz. It is someone called Mirage, somebody new. And that really sucks because I thought that Jazz was one of the best parts of the first Transformers. Every single time he is on screen, I am like laughing or excited and pumped. I thought Jazz was so, so cool. And he was my brother's favorite character. And so they're going a different way. I am excited, though, that it's set in the 90s. The trailer had a 90s song, so I hope that we get some really great 90s music thrown in there, maybe some 90s references. I think it has a lot of potential. The gorilla guy, and I'm not an actual Transformers fan. I'm a Transformers 2007 movie fan. So there's a gorilla character, and he is so, so cool. I love that there's animal Transformers. That's way more interesting to me than Transformer cars. And I actually get chills during the last part of the trailer when the Transformers are running and they take out their weapons, and there's one guy that he's like flinging some sort of chain weapon, like medieval type style thing, and they're charging toward each other. I love it. So I'm excited for this. Mark your calendars, June 9th. Transformers: Rise of Beasts. And last, we have the most anticipated movie of the year, the Flash movie. Okay, first of all, the DC universe beats the Marvel universe. Just plain and simple. Better characters, better story, better villains, in my opinion. But also fact. Better animated movies, better video games. Can't say better regular movies because the modern DC EU sucks. Animation, though, is still killing it because every year they come up with more DC animated movies, and I buy every single one. The Long Halloween, I rewatched, I think, 3 times last year. Animated kills it. Even the ones that are just for kids. We just watched, it was like Super Sons or something like that. Batman and Superman get taken out and basically their kids have to fight Starro. And it was so good. Oh my gosh. And that one was even like, not like Long Halloween. Long Halloween is geared for more adults. And that movie was geared for kids. And it rocked. Name a more iconic superhero than Batman. Name a more iconic villain than Joker. You can't. Name a more American hero, good old boy, than Superman. You can't. This universe deserves so much better than what it has recently received. But I think this movie is going to try to undo, or at least right, some of the wrongs that we have suffered through. First off, the director. I'm freaking psyched. Are you kidding me? Director of It 1 and 2 gave me nightmares and Mama? What is this? Thank God they didn't go with Joss Whedon. Ugh, I'm so much more excited for this tone. Maybe it'll be consistent all the way through. What a thought. The cast is diabolically stacked. I mean, you've got the goat of all goats, of any on-screen anyone. Oh my gosh. Like, there's this person that I watch all the time, Jay Longbone, and she's always talking about Henry Cavill. And I'm like, that's me too. Like every single time I'm supposed to go to Hot Man or, first obviously is my husband. And then next it's Henry Cavill. Like the peak of human males is Henry Cavill. The chin, the face, eyes, the body. Oh my gosh. And his hair. When he is Superman in Man of Steel, which is the worst movie almost that I can think of for any superhero. Who created that? They didn't even understand Superman. I thought that Tom Welling was my Superman because I've seen every single episode of Smallville over and over and over again. But Henry Cavill, I'm so sorry, Tom, has topped you. He's British, so he's brilliant. I love him. In the scene where he like saves the people on, what is that called? Like an oil rig or whatever. And there's fire around him and he's all hairy and he's beautiful. Oh, and he's so strong and he has just pants on, which is like, you could have had the fire hurt the pants a little bit there. But anyway, Henry Cavill is back. And this is probably the last time that we're ever going to see him as Superman, which is a travesty. It's a crime against humanity. James Gunn should be locked up. Are they going to get somebody that's better looking? No. Are they going to get somebody that's a kinder, nicer person in real life? No. Maybe they might get an American. You know what? I'll concede. If someone makes that argument of why Henry Cavill is not the best Superman, I would have to. You could get an American to be Superman since he was raised by a family in Kansas. But you can't even tell Henry Cavill has such a great accent voice. Anyway, let's talk about some of the other characters that are going to be in this movie. We've got Batfleck, Zod, Burton Bat. We have the Bale Bat Bike. I don't know if that means Christian Bale will be in this movie, but we definitely had the Bat Bike. you could make an excellent argument to me that Flashpoint Paradox is the best DC animated movie. It's definitely my husband's favorite. I think that there's so many aspects of Flashpoint, the story, that is so amazing and intriguing. And I'm really excited about the stacked cast, and I don't want to like bring down the mood, but I think maybe they even could have gone more, like even more with these characters, more with the idea of, well, everybody in the DCEU has to be here because that's what is happening. It's like, the world's on fire and chaos because of what Barry does. And maybe they're going in a totally different direction with this, but there's so much going on in the Flashpoint Paradox. Like everybody's going to war with each other. It's crazy. So far, the reviews coming out for the Flash movie have been great, in spite of all of the drama and stuff that's going on, not only with the actors, but also with Warner Brothers in general, the DC company just completely going in a different direction. Shazam 2 was a nightmare, trash fire. Even before all of the drama with Ezra Miller, I hated his portrayal in the character that Warner Brothers and DC created of this new Barry Allen. So I hope that in spite of my just natural distaste for this Barry, that the story is really well fleshed out and that all of the other characters are super compelling. Boba Fett's going to be in this movie. That's super cool. It's going to be awesome to hear his voice in something other than a clone trooper helmet. If you paid me $20 to not watch any of the DCEU movies that we've had in the past 10 years, I would say that was a steal, and I would definitely take you up on that offer. Like a rat that doesn't understand the feedback loop mechanism of getting shocked every time that you try to eat food, I still walk into the theater every time a DC movie is coming out with high hopes. And once again, I'm going to stupidly and ignorantly go and do it one more time for The Flash. In doing this, I realize that I am absolutely supporting exactly what I hate and complain about, which is subpar, low-quality stuff. I'm so sorry. I keep hoping that they're going to change. I'm an idiot. I know. My podcast is called Screen Stoops. June 16th, I'll be in the theater, Batman earrings and t-shirt on, ready to go to watch Michael Keaton on the big screen once again. Looking forward to it. So, in chronological order, so far, here are the movies on my watch list. Guardians of the Galaxy, Friday, May 5th. Knights of the Zodiac, May 12th. Hypnotic, also May 12th. Transformers, June 9th. The Flash, June 16th. Teenage Kraken, June 30th. Barbie, July 21st. Oppenheimer, July 21st also. Talk to Me, only in theaters, July 28th. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, August 4th. You know what? I actually want to talk about Barbie for a second. It wasn't a trailer that we saw on Saturday, but it's a trailer that I've seen several times. I was already excited about Barbie. As a millennial girl, Barbie and Polly Pocket were my favorite toys growing up. The trailer looked fun. Margot Robbie is stunning, gorgeous as ever. Ryan Gosling is inhumanly, unbelievably attractive. How do they do it? Well, obviously, inaccessible cosmetic procedures and abundance of healthy living access that we peasants can't even fathom. But a few weeks ago on Instagram, I saw a compilation video, and this video showed Barbie and the Wizard of Oz side by side. I was really impressed with the visual Easter eggs, and there are too many to be coincidental. DP framed shots that are identical to the classic Wizard of Oz film. So now, to also hear that Barbie may have parallels to Dorothy, or the story may have a parallel to the Wizard of Oz, I'm even more excited. And so is Shelby, because he was actually dreading going and seeing it before I showed him that. I'm really excited for all of these movies that are coming out. I hope that you are too. Thank you so much for listening to the Screen Stoop podcast. Please give me any feedback. I'm new to this. Every comment helps. Post on YouTube, send me a message on Twitter, Instagram. Everything is Screen Stoops. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Bye. I just remembered something, and I'm not going to put this back where it should go. I was editing and I was thinking about something, and so I'm just going to include it here. I think that the multiverse, which I have only liked the concept of in the DC franchise, really, I think that it's so well done with the Watchtower and Batman monitoring all the different Earths. I would like to make a prediction that The Flash is going to be the best movie in the DCEU that we've had. from Man of Steel to now. And then I propose or submit that the DC live action movies will have actually outdone Marvel with the multiverse concept. It's the only category that I can think that there may be that ability to surpass Marvel, because they really only have delved into the multiverse stuff in phase 4 and 5, and I think phase 4 and 5 absolutely suck. So that's my prediction, is that DC will finally have beat Marvel in something which they have been trying to do for 10, 12, however many years, with the multiverse concept. If this movie goes well, like I said, I haven't seen it. I really haven't even read any reviews besides just tweets. This is really great. We love it. Da, da, da. So now I'm ending it. Bye-bye.